Alright, good morning, and today we are going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines, okay? So parallel lines, I'm guessing most of you know. We have a line that's parallel. They run beside each other. It could go up, down, left, right, any combination of those. And hopefully you even remember that they are going to have the same slope. So, with that being said, if we look here, it says show that L1 and L2 are parallel. L1 just stands for line 1, L2 for line 2. So this first slope of 1, slope of line 1, so I'm going to put M1 is equal to, right here we already have it, so negative 2/3. So if they are parallel, that means that the slope of line 2 would also be negative 2/3. And to check this, the easiest way, in my opinion, is just to get it into slope-intercept form as line 1 was. So to do this, we'll subtract 4x minus 4x. That'll give us 6y equals negative 4x minus 18. Divide everything by 6, each part. So it'll be negative 2/3 x minus 3, which, as you can see, the slope of 2 is negative 2/3. They are the same, so yes, it is parallel. Okay. Now, number 2, it says find an equation that is parallel to the line y equals negative 2x plus 6 and passes through the point 2, negative 3. So if it is parallel, we know if this line has a slope of negative 2, if it's parallel, it'll have the same slope. So our slope is negative 2. Meanwhile, here's our point it's passing through, x1, y1. We can use our formula, remember, y minus y1, this is point slope form, equals m times x minus x1. So in our case, it'll be y minus negative 3 equals, let's see, we have negative 2 times x minus 2. Okay, we distribute, well, first y plus 3 equals, then we distribute this in, negative 2x plus 4. Okay, we subtract the 3, y equals negative 2x plus 1, and we are done. All right. Now for the next one, perpendicular lines. When we're talking about perpendicular lines, they have to cross, forming 90-degree angles. So 4 90-degree angles are formed here. And their slopes are what we call opposite reciprocals. And that kind of looks like a K at the end, so let me fix that. Opposite reciprocals. Okay, so the opposite reciprocal. Hopefully you know reciprocal means top and bottom switch. Opposite means the sign changes, so this is positive 3 over 2. Opposite reciprocal, negative 2 over 3. Opposite reciprocal becomes positive. You can either do just 5 or 5 over 1. Here, 8 is over 1, so opposite becomes positive, reciprocal 1/8. Now 0 is kind of quirky. If we take the reciprocal, we can't have that. We can't have a 0 on the bottom. So this would be undefined. This only happens when you have a horizontal line and a vertical line. Okay? So on to example 4 here. It says write an equation that is perpendicular to this and passes through the point 1, negative 2. So we know the original slope was negative 1/3. So if it's perpendicular, the perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. It'll just be 3. Then we'll do y minus negative 2 equals 3 times x minus 1. Y plus 2 equals 3x minus 3. We'll subtract the 2. Y equals 3x minus 5. And we are done. All right. Now, on the back, it just says, how can we tell from a graph or table whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither? And all we really need to do is compare the slopes. If we can find the slopes and compare them, then we will know. because if they're the same, it is parallel. If they're opposite reciprocals, it is perpendicular, and if neither of those happens, then it is neither. So if we look here, this first one, pretty easy, down 1 over 2. So the slope of that is -1/2. This next one may be a little more challenging, but there's 2 points there. So no, it's not more challenging. What am I talking about? Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So m equals 3 over 4. They are not the same. If they're not the same slope, then it is going to be neither. Okay, if we're trying to justify our answer, we'd say slopes that are parallel must be the same. Slopes that are perpendicular must be opposite reciprocals. This is not the case, so it is neither. Now, when we have our points, we could graph this and find the slope, but that's more work than we need to do. In my opinion, we know our formula for slope. So all we got to do, -6 minus -4, and you could use any of these points. The key is, since I use -6 on the top, I have to use the 0 on the bottom first. Since I use -4 on the top, I have to use the 1 first. So we do this plus 4, so that's -2 over -1. Our slope becomes -2. Okay. Or sorry, our slope becomes +2 because negative divided by negative. Now our final one, once again, 6 minus 8. I chose the first two. You could use any of these 2 points. I could do 6 minus 14, 8 minus 10, any of them. It will reduce to the same answer, assuming this is actually a linear equation. And then 0 minus 1. And once again, I get -2 over -1, which we know reduces to +2. They are the same, which means it is parallel. So that's all I have for today. Go ahead, get on Delta Math, get some work done. Keep in mind that it is the end of the first progress report for quarter 1 tomorrow. So we want to get all that old Delta Math in. If we have missing work, make sure we get that in so I can get your grade up to date. Hope you have a great day. Bye.